date for November. I just want to double check that you can all firstly hear me properly. If you could type in the chat that you can, or in the questions box that you can, that would be a fantastic start. Thank you. Okay, thank you. We've had a few people confirm that. That's fantastic news. Appreciated. Okay. Please feel free to enter the questions in the questions tab on the panel on the right hand side. For those of you that have already confirmed that you can hear me, you'll know where to go. What we'll do is we'll look at the questions at the very end. Where we may need to seek further guidance, for instance, we will keep hold of those questions rather than give you incorrect information, and we'll do a frequently asked questions sheet and post them up on the website once they've been addressed. So as I said, if you've got any questions throughout the webinar, type it into the question bank, and we will do our very best to answer them at the end. And those that we can't, if there are any, we'll take away and post up at a later date. Okay, so what we're going to cover today is, a quick background then. So looking at where we're at. So obviously, adapt or to potentially delay. And then there was the Centre Assessed Grades, otherwise known as the CAG. So academic year at the moment is slightly different. It's also important to note that this academic year are the locals. The framework that we've worked with to produce this question. So it's important to note that this year there is no scope whatsoever for the option of Centre Assessed Grades, otherwise known as CAG. So the CAG has been revoked. Okay, so adaptations and when used adaptations to assessments and qualifications. So the idea behind this is to free up more time to assess via the original method of assessment and cards to which they all apply to. We will hear that if adaptation methods are needed, a centre must apply. And this is no change. This is exactly the same from what it was previously last academic year. We'll take a look at that now, in fact. So you can see apply to adapt. To find the online form, initially visit our webpage and visit the COVID-19 tab at the top. It's on the left-hand side of the bar. And then please complete the 2021 Centre Adaptation Form to apply adaptation to assessments. If you've got any queries, then please do email our adaptation quality team on the address you can see there at the bottom. So that is adaptation.quality@cityandguilds.com. So any of your queries would go to that email address there. But if you are intending to adapt, then you must tell us of your intentions prior to scope. And this again hasn't changed from summer. In order for a learner to be in scope, they must be undertaking their assessment in the UK or the Republic of Ireland and be scheduled to complete their qualification or assessments during this 2021 international or endpoint assessment products either. That there are various other sectors which have also this is available, and where is it? We have, which is set likes, not COVID tests, obviously. In the product are around remote assessment, special considerations and quality assurance. So those are the key areas really that are highlighted under the adaptation guidance. We will look at remote assessment and remote invigilation next. So before we look at the business skills adaptations, it's really key to understand the key differences here between at the same time, not afterwards. So essentially, remote assessment is assessing as they do. Reference to quality assurance, this is business with 19 page assurance is concerned. Assessments will normally be carried out remote where adapted assessments have been used and for which learners, just as in normal years really, if your centre doesn't have direct claims, the learner's work will have to be approved by the EQA before certification, just like normal. Okay, before I look at the business skills adaptation, I just want to introduce a functional skills poll. So bear with me, providing the technology works, that is. I'm just going to Thank you. Do seem to have a bit of a technical issue here. Apologies about that. Indicates that the responses are the learner's own. And for evolved tests, remote invigilation is available. So again, making sure that you follow the remote invigilation process by looking at the guidance on the website. So again, moving on now to portfolio of evidence. So specifically say observations, for instance, of being assessed through either 8 and 5530 apply. However, 55 is, however, an available. Assessments are undertaken remotely, permitted for these particular units. 5530 there that you can see. But once again, please read the guidance on how to remotely invigilate before you do, because you may need to download certain platforms in order to do that safely. Again, if you're unsure on that, going back to 7 and 630 with it, so if you can deliver it as normal, then sit the evolve test, and it has changed now to not allowing you're allowed to use that CAG tool. The full list can ensure that you're receiving regular updates around the qualifications, EPA recommendations and best practice, and any assessment plan changes, etc. So the best way you can do that is by signing up to receive up-to-date information via email. That's where the receive. So I there would make sure that I've registered to receive those updates. You can follow that link. You can go to the City and Guilds website. If you can't follow that link or it doesn't work for whatever reason, scroll to the bottom of the web page and the email updates link will be. Please feel free to contact me on papers on Zoom as an adaptation. Yes, you would. It wouldn't be normal procedure. So Nicole, just correct me if I'm wrong here, if you wouldn't mind. But that would be classed as adaptation if you are using Zoom.
Hello, Dom. Sorry, I was trying to work out how to unmute, and if we have come across those.
Okay, this be classed as adaptation or just remote assessment? Again, I think Nicole's just answered that question. If it's for portfolio building purposes, you are okay. Okay, that looks like the end of the questions for now. What I'd like to do is basically hold this open, so you should have a recording of before you say that I was telling a post on the website.